Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the impact of AIDS on African Americans. And we're fortunate this morning to have with us to talk about the impact of AIDS on African Americans, Mr. Ron Crowder. Mr. Crowder is the founder of an organization called StreetWorks. And not only is he the founder of this organization, but he is also the executive director of StreetWorks. And of course, Mr. Crowder, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Haney.
And to tell you, Mr. Crowder, how delighted we are to have you again on this show dealing with this issue. As a matter of fact, we've had you about 4 or 5 different times, and each time you bring us excellent information, and people who have an opportunity to see these shows have often remarked how courageous you are in terms of what you're doing and your whole attitude in reference to AIDS. Before we get started into the impact of AIDS on African Americans, Mr. Crowder, let's have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the experiences that you had before you became the founder of StreetWorks.
Okay. My name is Ron Crowder, as you said, and I'm a native Nashvilleian, grew up in North Nashville. I attended Pearl High. Later on, I attended Tennessee State University, got a degree in accounting. I worked for several AIDS organizations. I worked for Meharry Medical College. I went on to work for an agency called Women, and now I identified a need for further services, and I started StreetWorks. StreetWorks is an organization that does HIV education, prevention, and care. So we actually provide services for those people who are infected with HIV. We're located at 1431 Joe Johnston in the Johnny Rahel housing site. And our hours of operations are specifically 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So we have outreach workers out on the streets doing HIV prevention and education during the times when the services are mostly needed. And that's during the nighttime hours, since our target population are those who are at the highest risk for HIV infection.
Okay, you talk about HIV and AIDS, Mr. Crowder, and I think we've talked about it on a number of occasions, but still there are some folks who really don't understand what AIDS and HIV is, and give it to us from that perspective so that the average person might understand what we're talking about here.
HIV is an acronym for, an acronym for human immunodeficiency virus. It is the virus which causes AIDS, and there's 3 modes of transmission, and that's blood to blood, which most commonly occurs by sharing needles. We talk about any kind of needles, tattooing needles, body piercing needles. You can get it from sex, you know, unprotected sex with an infected person. Now that's important. One of the persons in the sexual act has to be infected. And the other mode of transmission is an infected mother can transmit the virus to her unborn child. Those are the only 3 ways you can get HIV. And there's 4 body fluids which transmit HIV, and that is blood, semen, vaginal secretions, and breast milk. And what I'm saying here is you have to get one of those body fluids of an infected person into your body. And right now, HIV is impacting African Americans at a disproportionate rate. We account for over half of all new infections. That 1 in 50 African American men is infected with HIV, and 1 in 160 African American women is infected with HIV.
You know, Ms. Crowder, it seems to me, and I think this is the same question that we have to raise, and we've raised it before. It seems to me that if this disease is having such a tremendous impact, why is it that we don't hear that much about this disease, nor do we see that many people who are impacted with this disease? And where are these individuals that, when we say 1 out of 50, where are these individuals, and how do you know, I mean, how can you tell that they...
Well, Dr. Haney, first of all, HIV has such a negative impact associated with it that people